Hi, and welcome to High Country Help Center informational video. The information I hope to share with you today is about North Carolina DWIs, and if you get one, what you need to do to help take care of yourself. First off, I think it's important to recognize that there were over 42,000 DWIs in the fiscal year of 2006 in North Carolina alone. Now, I don't know about you, but for me that's just one too many. Even one is one too many. The highest blood alcohol level found amongst the folks that were arrested was a 0.28, and the average blood alcohol level was a 0.14. Now, with this information, it's also important to keep in mind that of the over 42,000, 49 of them were aiding and abetting DWIs. And what this means is that the person themselves were not driving, but they knew that the person who was driving was intoxicated and therefore received an aiding and abetting for that reason. It's also important to know that there are commercial DWIs, which happen with a CDL or a commercial driver's license, and they also have a lower blood alcohol level than the average American citizen who has a license. There were also over 4,000 who are under the age of 21 who got DWIs, and there were 215 habitual DWIs. Habitual is when a person is convicted of a DWI over three times in a 7-year period. It's also important to note that a third of these offenses had at least one prior conviction of DWI. If you get a DWI, the first restoration of your license requires that you not blow over a 0.04 if you get pulled either at a checkpoint or for impaired driving again. However, if you have a second or subsequent conviction, then when you are reissued your license, you cannot blow anything. It is also important to note that you do not have to blow a 0.08 in order to get a DWI. All the officer has to prove is that you were impaired with your driving, either by swerving, by having an accident, by having failed the sobriety test and still blowing below a 0.08. The 0.08 is just the icing on the cake for the officer. The only time you can be convicted on just the alcohol level alone is at a checkpoint. If you blow a 0.16 blood alcohol level, or if you have more than one DWI in a 7-year period, then you will have to have what's called the ignition interlock device system, otherwise known as the blow and go. Now, these boxes are connected to your vehicle, and you have to blow into the box in order to start your vehicle, and then you have to blow into the box every 20 to 30 minutes or however often that you are prompted to to blow into the box. This could be within another 5 minutes, or it could be within an hour after starting your vehicle. If you get caught driving a vehicle that does not have the interlock ignition system in it, and you are supposed to have one, you will also get in trouble. Any vehicle you drive has to have the interlock ignition. If you do get convicted of a DWI, then there are different lengths of revocation on your license. For your first DWI, there's a revocation of 1 year. For a second DWI, it's a revocation of 4 years. And for a third DWI, it is permanent revocation. Now, for the second DWI and the revocation of 4 years, you can request a hearing after 2 years of not having your license. There are certain guidelines that you will have to follow for the hearing, and they will send you the information when you request that, and you would request it through the Department of Motor Vehicles. Also, with the 3 DWIs revocation, the permanent revocation, you can request a hearing after 3 years. These hearings are to give you an opportunity to prove that, for you to prove that you deserve to have your license back. Now, this is something I hadn't realized until I had done a little bit of research, but if you could get convicted of a DWI while your license is revoked, then the courts may order your vehicle to be seized and sold. How often that happens, I don't know, but it is within their power to be able to do that. All of this information is available on the website at http://www.nctasc.net/ncdwiservices, services, and from there you can select which menus you would like to be able to locate a provider or to find out more information about a DWI. Now, something else that is important for you to know when taking care of a DWI is that you can choose any provider to go to, provided that they are licensed to do DWI assessments and DWI treatment. For each assessment, you will need to pay $100, and you'll need an assessment for each DWI that you need to take care of. After the assessment, you will be given a recommendation of either education or treatment. Education is a 16-hour class, and treatment will range anywhere from 20 hours to inpatient treatment with aftercare. Not only do you have the option to choose any provider that is licensed to do DWI assessments, you have the option of choosing any provider to do your treatment as long as they are licensed to do DWI treatment or education. You do not have to go to the same provider that does your assessment. The state mandatory fee for the assessment is $100. For the treatment, there is a minimum of $75, but the provider may charge any fees over that. So you may want to see how much fees are per provider and see which one you would rather go with. Also, it is important to make sure that distance will not be an issue for you, as well as you may want to check out the style that the therapist does for the treatment. There are not as many education providers for the ADATS class. However, you can go to any county and have the ADATS program and do their classes. As mental health reform changes and as DWI laws and state issues come up, you may want to check the website that I gave you periodically to make sure there have not been any changes. New law that passed December 1st, 2007 has stated that anyone that has a DWI assessment must start the education or the treatment within 6 months of having done their assessment. If they do not have it done within that 6 months, they must pay for a new assessment. I hope this information has been helpful for you. If you would like to make a donation, please visit High Country Help Center, all one word, .wikispaces.com, and click on the link to donate now. Thank you for your time.